Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Saturday. I hope everybody is having a great start to the weekend and a wonderful day. It is still a little cold here in Western Pennsylvania, but that's okay. It's the weekend, and I don't have to go anywhere, and I'm loving life. Okay, so guess what? Chicken butt. No, I actually did watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's the final part of this year's reunion, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. They started off with a package on Brittany. So they bring Brittany out. Brittany, listen. Brittany is always that pick me, and why isn't it all about me? Why would she get a grand entrance? She's like, I'm not gonna come in for a grand entrance. You're not gonna strut me out. No, why would you? Nobody does that. I mean, typically, as you know, what they do is the women come out one by one, and Andy's like, whoa, 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 va va voom, look at your dress. Oh, so nice to see you. Oh, this and that. And everybody sits down, and then they officially start it. So no one has ever tried it out like that. You're a friend of Brittany. Calm down. So first off, they're talking about her relationship with Jared Joel. As of this taping, they are broken up. She is 1,000% done with him. However, if you notice on Instagram, and social media, she absolutely is not. As of the taping, they were broken up, but as of right now, they're not. They are completely together, and she posted it at least 20 times using audio from Wicked that they are together, and they are so happy together. Listen, here's here's a phrase that I really would not have put on my Real Housewives bingo card. And that is micropenis and Osmond. I would maybe put the first one MP on, but never in relationship to or in conjunction with Osmond. To be honest with you, this whole thing came up because on the after show, it was repeated that Jared Joel has an MP that it's alleged that he does. It's alleged that he's not gifted. He got big feelings about that. I mean, I can understand that, but he got big feelings about it. However, the thing is, Bronwyn didn't say that. At I believe it was at the Mob Wives party, Bronwyn was talking to a guest who had said that we have somebody that comes into the spa. Bronwyn had said Jared, and they said yes, and then they said that he's on the smaller side. So she did repeat it, but she wasn't the one who said he has it. She did repeat it. The Osmonds must be so proud of how he's out here talking about women, because he didn't. And then when she was like, I have a text, and would you like for me to read it? Read what he said to me in my DM, because it's not great. And Brittany's like, no, I know exactly what he said. Meanwhile, Mary's like, read it all, babe, read it all. And honestly, listen, Andy was co-signing her reading it. They all wanted her to read it. So she read it, and he was calling her a bitch. And I'm probably the biggest man that I'm probably bigger than any man that you've ever slept with, and blah, blah, blah. And I could say things about your anatomy, but I will remain classy in the eyes of the public. Well, not anymore. more. And here's the thing. He wasn't just talking about Bronwyn. He was also talking shit and talking terribly about the woman he is now with. And that's, well, maybe they broke up again, but the woman that he's with, and that is Brittany. Listen, Jared Joel claiming that he's the reason why she has this job is beyond laughable. This is bitch, this is Bravo. This is Bravo. I am going to 100% speak for 99.999% of the Bravo universe and say that we don't give a shit that you're an Osmond, okay? Don't care. Couldn't give a shit that you are an Osmond. Osmond doesn't, out there in Mormon land, Osmond probably holds a lot. It holds a lot of weight. On Bravo, not so much. Just saying. At the end of it, I'm just really feeling like Brittany's desperate. She's desperate for a man, and she's desperate for an Osmond man because she takes him back after all of this nastiness that he puts out there about women and about her. She's like, I'm 1,000% done and closed with that chapter. But she's really not. That shows how desperate she is. Now, the topic of Brittany not speaking to her daughters had come up. They are talking now, and one of her daughters, Olivia, is with her, accompanied her to New York for the reunion. So in Brittany's mind, it's Bronwyn's fault that her daughters weren't talking to her. I'm going to say why I think that's bullshit in a little bit. But Bronwyn was like, she's like, I never talked to your daughters. So let me get this straight. Okay. So she's saying that Bronwyn told her friends, meaning Bronwyn told Bronwyn's friends, things like, Brittany wasn't on Broadway. Brittany wants them to call her Brittany. She wanted them to call her Brittany. And those were the like small things. But then the big thing apparently was that Brittany said that they're the reason why her second marriage broke up. So it's so stupid. So Brittany is saying that Bronwyn had her friends, aka her flying monkeys, fly over and tell her daughters this. I don't buy that. To be honest with you, I don't buy it. And Lisa Barlow was like, you did say that she wasn't on Broadway. And Andy is like, are you saying that they're not talking to you because you weren't on Broadway? That's the dumbest fucking thing. The dumbest thing. That's why they wouldn't talk to you, because you weren't on Broadway? Now, here's the thing. Bronwyn had said, I didn't even know you then when you weren't talking to them. And Andy brought it up then that, listen, when you were in casting and you were doing your casting video, you weren't talking to your daughters then. And then they showed the video, the audition video, the casting video, where she's like, I have 2 daughters. They're currently not talking to me. There's a lot of drama there. She was laughing at it. So, and now all of a sudden she's torn up. At the time she was laughing. And also, here's the thing. Here's the reason why I don't believe this. Because I remember early in the season, there was a scene where Brittany and Heather were playing pickleball. And she's talking about how her daughters aren't talking to her. And I distinctly remember her saying, they're not talking to her because Brittany picked a man over her daughters. I absolutely remember that. And I know that that happened because Heather in this episode of the reunion says, I know what it's like to be so in love and have that cloud your judgment and pick a man over everything else. She said that. So I don't buy that Bronwyn was the one that caused this rift between her daughters and Brittany. Even Andy knows this is a lie. He's 100% knows it. That's a lie. Brittany is just working overtime for trying to get that snowflake next season, which she shouldn't get. Okay, another thing with this, remember Angie, when Angie brought the wine and Brittany was all upset? Heather's 100% correct on this. It's really not up to Angie to keep up Brittany's facade that she's this perfect Mormon that doesn't drink, that doesn't have sex before marriage. It's not up to her. And it's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that Brittany even got that upset that Angie brought her a bottle of wine, because she drinks in public all the time. I mean, what are people going to think if you're drinking in public all the time? Then you drink. Or if a man is buying you crotchless underwear, am I going to think that there's something else going on besides just friendship between her and a man that buys her crotchless underwear? There ain't no way that a man is going to buy you crotchless underwear and just be like, hey, as a friend, I was just out and I saw these crotchless underwear. I thought you might want to air out your lady taco and just let them fly, just let it breathe without any crotch, just as a friend. No, that doesn't make sense. Of course, Lisa Barlow was sticking up for Brittany on this because Lisa's living like this same like Mormon Light or Mormon 2.0. I mean, she has a tequila company that I don't know where they serve it, because from what I understand, people are like, I have never seen this anywhere. I think they just serve it at the one resort that they were at in Puerto Vallarta, because she gave it to them, and maybe in Salt Lake City. I don't know where else they buy it. I was like, maybe I'll try and find it. I don't even care enough to find it, because I'm not even that big a fan of Lisa Barlow, so I don't care. Okay, Brittany coming clean about sleeping with Jared Joel. I'm gonna tell you, Mary's 100% correct. Mary's like, but what did this have to do with you recording? Exactly. Her bringing that up and publicly admitting to something that we all knew was happening anyways, her sleeping with Jared Joel, that was her way to deflect the attention from her recording and then garner sympathy. That's all it was. Don't look over here, look over here, right? Because if she's crying and crying, then if you don't show sympathy, then you're a monster. Okay? So then they get on that Puerto Vallarta trip. And listen, when I spell Puerto Vallarta, do you see how I spell it? Because if I would spell it the right way, I would obviously be like Puerto Vallarta. Okay, so I'm gonna start off. In the Sprinter van, when they're all screaming at Brittany about recording, that camera view that they have of Meredith when she's like, you can leave. You are vile. That to me just so took me back to like the old Missy Elliott videos where, it was like real tight on her face and it was her like doing jerking movements. That's exactly what it is like to me. It will never not make me laugh. Okay. I thought it was a little hypocritical. It was a little hypocritical of Lisa Barlow to call, I don't know why I have to keep saying Lisa Barlow, it was a little bit hypocritical for Lisa to be calling Bronwyn ungrateful when she was complaining about the villa, when Lisa threw a fit whenever coming home from Bronwyn's trip that she had to fly coach. I mean, she did all this stuff for you while you were there and spent all this money, and now you're complaining about this. This trip wasn't even that long, the flight back. So it was hypocritical. Okay, Lisa said the reason why she put Bronwyn in the villa that she was in was because she knew that Bronwyn had gotten bit. She wanted to put her in the biggest room that was in the villa so that she had space because of what she had just gone through. I mean, and that is a logical explanation, but I still kind of, I think it was a mix between that and being a little petty. That's what I think. And under the topic of you learn something every time, I never knew that what you need to do, like when you're being attacked by a dog, you're not supposed to like run away or scream or, pull away or try and do anything like that, which is what I would do and is what I have done. You're actually somebody's supposed to touch the butthole of the dog. And I'm going to tell you, quote of the night came from Mary Crosby. The butthole does not work. The butthole does not work. So there we go. You learned something. Question of Bronwyn. Does Lisa like to play the victim? Okay. She said she doesn't victimize herself. She doesn't think that she victimizes herself. But when something happens to Lisa, she takes it a lot more seriously than when it happens to someone else. Like if someone comes after Lisa's family, then she goes insane. But if somebody comes after somebody else's family, she minimizes it. For example, the example that I have, she flipped on Whitney when Whitney brought up that rumor about her marriage, but then turned around and thought it just was no big deal that she said that circle thing about Sean. Like it was okay for her to say that, but it wasn't okay for Whitney to bring up a rumor that she heard. Whitney wasn't even like, I know that you guys did this. She was like, someone told me that they did it. Whereas she was the one that took ownership of saying that Sean does this thing with circles. I mean, that's crazy. The whole topic of Brittany on this recording on the Sprinter van. Okay. So Andy was like, you gave a lot of different reasons for recording. Were any of them true? And when she said they're all parts of the same truth. No, It was you throwing stuff out until you saw what stuck. Until you saw which one of them which one they would believe. Which they didn't believe any of them. She then threw editing under the bus and was like, yeah, it was editing. What? Andy shot that down by being like, but it couldn't have been editing because they can't edit it to make it longer. And then they showed it and she was lying about it. Brittany says that she's still recovering I'm still recovering from being yelled at in the Sprinter van. Mary, listen, once again, Mary's correct. It's done. It's over. It happened and it's over. And hopefully so are you. I mean, a lot of people were probably thinking it. I was, so I'm glad she said it. Now, I'm going to just mention something. And when I say this, I'm going to say this and completely come clean and be like, when I say this next part, don't anybody be like, well, she got some nerve to say something about somebody else's face when she goes on camera looking like a hot mess, like she don't give a shit every day. You're correct. I honestly, when I make videos, I'm not making videos as like hey everybody, look at my beautiful face. Look at what you can do through the magic of makeup. I don't put makeup on because I'm not here for a makeup tutorial. I mean, I'm here to talk about pulp culture and just rant. So when I say this, I think a lot of other people were thinking this too. But whoever did Britney's blush and also Bronwyn's, they deserve jail time. Jail time. It was super harsh, especially Britney's. But then again, the lighting was terrible. The lighting didn't do justice for a lot of these women. Makeup aside though, I'm going to tell you, I would maybe put Britney on the side of the women who would be better dressed, like winners and losers. And I thought, I loved what Britney was wearing. I actually liked her better in what she was wearing on the reunion than what she showed up in. Like, I think Angie, because remember, Angie and Britney showed up in the same purple dress. I thought Angie looked better, but you know, like if you were doing a bitch you stole my look, who looks better, it was Angie. But I thought Britney looked really good in that dress. Like, maybe it's better that she did end up wearing that, you know? I thought her hair looked beautiful. It wasn't a high body count hair. I thought it looked gorgeous. Okay. Meredith then talked about Jen Shah, because apparently Jen Shah had called her. She had accepted the message, which Meredith was like, well, she called me because I can't call her. You can though. I mean, I've never called a prison, but you can call, you know, I mean, obviously you can call people in prison. Whitney's question was, why is it worse that I spoke to Monica? And Meredith was like, well, it's because Whitney, you reached out to get dirt on us. Whitney says, that's not true. I reached out for receipts, which is, if you reached out for receipts, it's in my mind, it's kind of the same thing as getting dirt. That's all I'm saying. Meredith says, in Meredith's mind, it's okay to talk to Jen because she did her time and she is paying restitution. She's doing her time and she paid restitution. But see, in my mind, honestly though, is she really doing her time? Because she is going to be getting out early. I guess for maybe good behavior or whatever. But to me, you have to judge them on the topic. And that's what they did to the ladies. Like, they both fucked the ladies over and they both lied to you. But Mary's right. I mean, Whitney had said this, Mary had said it, that she traumatized them. Mary said she lied to us. She looked us in our faces, lied to us, said she didn't do it. She lied up until the very last minute that she couldn't lie. Meredith, she mistreated your children, and she blamed us for her going to prison. Like, she couldn't take accountability of what she did. She was up until the last minute. She was blaming us for going to prison. This is all true. And you notice Heather didn't pipe in on any of it because, she had Heather over a damn barrel trying to claim, she wouldn't say, she couldn't say that Mary was the one that gave her that black eye. So, no, I'm not with you on this one, Meredith. And then talk about Heather's last game on this trip with the whole, what's the worst thing you said, and then burn it. I'm going to tell you, if Bronwyn and Heather can burn it after what Bronwyn and Whitney, if they can burn it after what Angie and Heather said about each of them, then so can Lisa Barlow. because both of those ladies said some terrible things about Bronwyn and Whitney. Now with Lisa and Whitney, Lisa says she can't burn it with Whitney because, and then Meredith was like, you keep doing the same thing. And Lisa was like, yes, you keep doing the same thing. So the same thing that she's talking about is talking about her marriage. I really don't think Whitney has ever talked about her marriage. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but in all the seasons, I don't know that she's talked about that Whitney's talked about her marriage. And then when Lisa sees that she's not winning this argument and she's wrong, then she starts crying, turns it on everyone else and how everyone else has screwed me over. And I have a big family and I was one of 6 kids. I could have been trafficked. What? What are you talking about? Now, I completely get protecting your family, okay? And people talking about your family being triggering, I 100% understand that. And I agree with that. But once again, how is it that Whitney is accountable for retelling a rumor she was told? But Lisa doesn't have to be accountable for what she said about Sean at that table. I'm just saying. She's held to a high, she's in rarefied air. She's not allowed to be touched. No, that's bullshit. So eventually Whitney and Lisa have nice things to say about one another. And they're like, we'll burn it. It's burned until, Lisa's like, unless you say something about my family again, then it's not. Then it's back on. And Whitney's like, same. If you call me a liar, then it's back on. Then, bridges are burned. And Lisa was like, I love you. I love you. Despite all this crazy stuff, I love you. And Whitney's all like, oh, I love you too. I don't buy it. Do I think it's genuine? I don't think it's genuine because Lisa Barlow just called Whitney a liar and Whitney called Lisa Barlow fake and a shitty friend. I don't buy it. I think it's performative. I think it's for the cameras. So everybody's going through saying nice things about each other. There's Brittany in the lurches. Before all of this nicety starts, Brittany leaves, and then she has to, in her final moment, she has to have that pick me moment where she's like, what about me? Why don't I go out there and have people say nice things about me? You're not a full-time, once again, you're not a full-time housewife. You're just not. But this being said, I will say this. If you're looking at the two Housewives franchises that aired at the same time, Roni and Salt Lake, and you take a look at the friends, would I bring Brittany back as a friend of? I probably would. Here's the reason why. She does bring drama in. I mean, she does bring a drama in. You do remember that she was on. She actually brought more drama, I think, than Meredith, which brought nothing, or Heather, which the only thing she did all season was, lodge straight up Lisa Barlow's ass. So she did bring something. Versus Rebecca Minkoff on Roni, which I'll talk about that after I watch their reunion. At times you forgot that Rebecca was even there. Like, when they say she was boring, they're not lying. There was nothing, like, she didn't want to talk. She was brought on as a Scientologist. She didn't want to talk about any of it. She just was like, she wasn't there. So, I mean, as annoying as Brittany was, she did do a job. She did bring some drama. So, I mean, Can't lie about that. There's the one good thing that I'll say. She did bring drama. So, okay, in the comments, let me know what you thought. And if nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there so it comes right back at you. Please, let's take care of one another. Be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Hydrate often with water, which I need to do myself. I have not had any water, and it is 2:41 in the afternoon, and the only water that I've had is an iced coffee. Actually had two because I went to Starbucks because I heard one of their policies is now they have to write like a message on your cup. They didn't write any message. So that is the water that I had today. So once again, it is 2:42. I gotta get some water in me. And lastly, if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, our thoughts, our prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. There's a lot of like dust. If you guys are like, what's all that floating through? There's like dust from, I don't know if it's from like, I don't know if you can see it, but here is, do you see? That's our light right there. Okay, that's our light. I don't know if you can see it, but that was our light. So I don't know if it's coming from down there. Anyways, okay, I will see you guys tomorrow for Roni reunion recap. The quadruple R's. Roni reunion recap and rant. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye, guys. What's this? Bye, guys.